There you go. That's right where I'm working. All right. Now, you take the plastic and you heat it up. You just wait. And this is where we get into that stitch welding. Stitch. What the fuck is that? I don't give a shit. Most people just leave me alone. I don't bother nobody. There you go. You see how that welds in real nice? You just do that all the way around. Remember, you don't want to go too hot on one side. I might be doing too much right now. But if you do, you just heat it up again and you just move it. Alright, we'll move up here now. This is not something that's going to be done quickly. If you're looking for a quick fix for a dash, buy one. But if you want to save $300-400, spend $75, $100 for a nice plastic welder on eBay, used. Do it yourself. Thing is, you can use this for a whole. You can fix bumpers with it. You can fix interior panels. A lot of shit you can do with a plastic welder. So I've never thought of owning one before, but now I'm telling you, there's just so much I can do with it. My daughter nicked her bumper on her 2000, I believe, 12 GMC Terrain. They want like $1,300 to put a new bumper on it. I could fix it with what, 30 cents worth of urethane? Alright. You just play with it. Probably edit a lot of this out. Plenty of plastic on it now. It's just about smoothing it out. is I put a little paper, construction paper, on my countertop, so that when I cut it, I can just kind of like wipe it off onto the paper. Patience is a virtue. I've never been a virtuous man. Well, that's what priests will tell you. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do plastic work. They're going to say, Gary, you're doing it wrong. And you know what? You're right. It's my first time. But I wanted to see if it could be done. I couldn't find any videos on YouTube dealing with dashboards and how you would handle a dashboard. So I said, well, what the fuck? And you know, you save your scrap because what I've done is put it in a little jar here, as you can see, I don't know if you can see the jar, okay? The black ABS crush. You put acetone into it, same height, if you have the same height as the plastic, and it will become liquid plastic, basically. You could actually paint it onto this, to the front to smooth it out. Now, what I understand is if you put too much or a little more acetone, it's more liquidy, it's a glue. Then you have a slurry, and then you have a paste, depending on how much you put in there. And some people say it'll last about a month. So, if you're working on a project, that's what you do. Back is welded solid. It looks like shit. It's done. It's doing its job. Son of a bitch. I'll have to adjust it. It's gonna take me a second because I'm gonna have to change this shoe on the end of my weld. Oh, I forgot. Turn it off first. Alright, back. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not very, you know, I'm lousy with these cams. Alright. takes a minute or two to get hot. But it will get hot. Anyway, I had to turn that off so that they don't fucking ban my goddamn video. They already did that to me once. Okay. Now you'll see it's rough, but it's the beginning. It looks like shit. Trust me, it's flat. So when you sand it, it will be like the rest of it. Now bear in mind, I'm still going to work on some of like those little low spots right there. I'm going to put a little bit more material in there and sand some more because there's some low spots there, and I think when I put the slurry in there and sand that, that will fill all the real low spots. I've got to make that look like something in the middle. Yeah, it's coming along slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. It's really a rough gauge. I got to fix this because the strap, here's the ground strap. That's the ground strap, and it fits right in the back. Oh, fuck it. It fits like that in the back. You know, and somebody broke it. I guess they probably hit it too hard. You know, whatever. It's a 50-year-old car. You gotta expect shit like that. But anyway, now I got a nice little panel. You know, blank. Let's call it a blank. A blank dash, so that we can cut. We can put the gauges in anywhere we want to put it, and we'll have. It'll be done, and then we'll be able to paint it, and it'll look like something. I left these letters right here where it says washer, wiper, and lights, because I'm hoping when I put the carbon fiber vinyl on it, I'm going to use heat and the roller. Hopefully the embossing will come through the vinyl. We'll see. It's a learning thing, you know. I've never done this before, and thought I'd bring you with me. And what the fuck, right? What the Brought you with me, and there she is. At least now we got a blank panel, right, to work with, and we'll see what I can do with it. Okay, folks, it's Labor Day, and I'm out here working on this dash. Thought I'd bring you back for the final leg of it. It turned out okay. I welded all the plastic pieces in there, and then what I found was, you know, when you're welding it, it leaves little holes. Not necessarily holes, but indentations, kind of, because you know you're using a hot iron, and you can't really smooth it with an iron. So what you have to do is you have to come back later and sand it. You get the little holes, and then you make what's known as a slurry. Here it is right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's nothing more than the black plastic material, right, and acetone, okay? I just used, you know, clean strip acetone from Home Depot, and you put the acetone in, and within a half an hour it starts to melt. You really need to cut it up into little pieces so it melts quicker, and you know, as it starts to melt, you take any tool that you have. I used this, and you dip it into the slurry, and then you just droplets on the holes that you have, and then later you come back and sand. Let's bring you where I don't know if you can see it. Well, I'll show you real quick. That's the dash. It's turned out pretty good. I know it's hard to see on camera, but that's actually pretty good. These still need to be sanded, but they're the driplets that I put in, and this is what it looks like as you're putting the droplets in. You know, I boogered this up, so I'll have to sand this down. I put some. This is a slurry. I can't get the welder in there, so I put a slurry. Plastic will melt two ways. One chemically using acetone, the other using heat. Heat gives you a better molecular bond and goes deeper, so you can weld the panels together completely, all the way through the panel. The slurry does two things. You can glue plastic to it, right? Which is what I'm going to do in the back of these, so I can put my lights into it. In the back of this, because my brake light and my amber check engine light will be inside here, okay? And then, you know, you can either glue or you can fill, and that's what I'm filling with. Now, some people say they can use a polyester filler, like, you know, a glazing on the panel and sand that down if that's what you want to do. I wanted to keep it plastic, or try to anyway. I mean, like I said, I'm learning on this, and it seems to be working out with the slurry. It's a lot of sanding though. This stuff sands pretty good. I mean, it's a little harder than some things. Like the slurry seems to be harder to sand than the welding plastic, but you get a smoother finish. You fill the little holes up, you know? What can I tell you? I'm going to go to work sanding this. I'll keep you on for a little bit, and you can keep me company. Okay, I'm back. I thought I'd show you my progress on the dashboard up to now. Remember that hole we patched over here? It's all gone. The entire panel is in pretty good shape. It's ready to be painted. It's smooth. The holes have been filled, sanded smooth, and most of the pit holes have been taken out. And it's going to be painted, so it's not going to be that bad. I still have to put a backing over here and over behind the turn signals for lights, so that the lights can be set in there. And I rebuilt the radio hole. If you remember correctly, the old dual turn knob radios of the 60s and 70s is just no longer reality. So I rolled the lower section out on the bottom and welded some plastic in on both sides and created a new DIN, a DIN socket. So that's the DIN socket for the new radio. Well, I borrowed a what do you call it? A sleeve from a friend of mine, who had an extra DIN sleeve, so I went ahead and used that. So that's done. I've fixed all the lower control pieces on both sides. I fixed them up here. Remember, this was broken completely off. So I welded it on. It's ready to be painted, and I've got to drill my holes, of course. I've refilled all the old holes because they were pretty much, this one needs a little bit more plastic right here. But she's pretty much done. To give you an idea, there's the gauge setup. So I wish the heck I could find a way to hold this without it falling over. There it is. It gives you a rough idea of what it's going to look like. Once it's repainted, it'll look really nice. But yeah, that's been a lot of work rebuilding it. It's a custom dash now, and I like it. I like it. It's going to have a USB port. It won't have a cigarette lighter, but it'll have a USB port. It'll have Bluetooth. It'll have a late stereo, a nice stereo in it. Have the tack, of course, the speedometer, and all the gauges necessary. So it should look pretty good. It should work out real good. While I was at it, I rebuilt the tabs in the back that hold your winch wiper knobs and everything, because they had, like most of these cars, they were small and they'd break. So I made them pretty hefty. I beefed them up. It looks like hell, but they're solid, man. And they do the job better than before. On the back, you can see where I did all of my welding, but it doesn't matter, Who cares what the back looks like? It's the front that matters. So anyway, next time you see it, I think she will be painted, holes will be cut, and the dash will be ready. There's a panel that goes here that's got some broken tabs I've got to fix. But I'll do that next, probably. Alrighty, talk to you later. Okay, here's the dash. I'll give you a shot of it from far away. Turned out pretty good. Essentially, I cut all the openings in it. I've got 3 holes here. One is going to be for the check engine light, one is going to be for the high beam, and the other one is going to be for my brake light. So that's kind of cool. That was the opening for the park reverse neutral dial indicator. So that's gone. I've drilled holes for the turn signal, so I've kept the little triangle thing, and I'm putting LED lights inside there. Turned out real nice. I rolled this out and then rebuilt it top and bottom so that you can put a single DIN, if I can get it in here now. It's a nice fit. A single DIN radio into it. It turned out pretty good.
and I bought a Pioneer radio for it. I don't know. I think it turned out real nice. The black that you see here is painted is a textured paint. The reason why I use that is even though the original was textured, where there were holes and I had to weld plastic in there, when you sand it, it's smooth. And I kind of boogered this up a little bit. It had several holes here, and I sanded it, and it just looked rough. So I sanded it smooth, and I put this textured paint on it, and it looks really nice. It looks really nice. The discoloration is primer from my fingertips. That'll wash off. But it turned out kind of nice. I've got to paint all this satin black. I'm using special paint. What I did was I used this for the wrinkle, and it's approved for plastic, as you can see, and that's why I bought it. And I'm using this for the satin black around the gauge cluster and everything. And then I'm going to put carbon fiber vinyl inside of the dash cluster. I could paint it, but I've wanted to put the carbon fiber in there somewhere, and I think that's a good place. Plus, there's a hairline crack. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's only on the surface. It only goes down not even a millimeter, but it's there. When you cut these holes, you have to be very careful using a hole saw. You know, everywhere on YouTube, nobody explains how to do this, how to build a ABS plastic dash, okay, or rebuild one, custom dash. You know, I hope that this video has helped. It's been a learning experience for me because I've never done it before, and I hope this video has helped other people, you know, who may want to build a custom dash for their car, but they don't explain anything. Like, nowhere does it say how do you cut a round hole in a ABS plastic dash. And I'm telling you, you cannot use a Dremel. You can, but it looks rough. You know, you can't use a knife. You can't cut it. You can't heat it up where it's soft and then cut it because everything distorts. And you know, you've got to have a flat. You want to keep everything flat. So what I did was I used hole saws, regular Milwaukee hole saws. These are 3 different sizes. I only use 2, the 2 1/8 and 3 3/8 for the dash. And what you have to do is use a variable speed drill because you want to do it slow. You don't want to do it fast. That's what happened there. I went too fast, and it was too aggressive for the plastic. It vibrated it too much. Doing it slow, which is what I did all the rest of them, it just cut nice and easy. You take your time, you control the cut, and it goes right through without any problem. You know, you mark your dash. Remember, the key to this is making plenty of these. Plenty of templates, you know? Plenty of, the more templates you make, the better you are, because then it helps you lay everything out, cut everything out. It helps you, you know, organize yourself. And it turned out fairly nice. I mean, I wouldn't give myself an A+ on it, but I would give myself an A. I mean, clearly, if you did something that like spray waste does, I think it's nicer because you can put different dimensions in it, but it's a lot heavier too, the dash. This is very light. Yeah, it's a plastic dash. Let's see if I can get it out. It's a plastic dash, you know, very light, not a problem, and it does everything. Now what I've done here is I've kept where it says windshield wiper and lights there. I'm hoping to be able to rub the vinyl carbon fiber into that, and I'm hoping with a little heat and rubbing it, I'm able to get it in there. I mean, that's a gamble. I could have sanded that out, but I didn't, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have to cut for the triangles, so I'm gonna cut it. It'll be painted black, and the vinyl will be cut around there, so you'll still see the what do you call it, the detail there. And what I'm gonna have to do here is I'll have to put 2 pieces, 1 piece on the side, in the back, and in the bottom. Then I'll overlap the top by cutting it square, and rolling it down underneath. You see, you know, that way it'll overlap the plastic, the first piece. But yeah, I think it's gonna turn out okay. So far, so good. I mean, to buy this dash, well, first of all, you couldn't, because they don't make them with the one din, and they don't make it with the detail that this one has, because this is the original dash. But similar ones to this, you're gonna pay $300, $400, $500 for it. So I'm really happy. I think it's gonna look really nice in the car. So anyway, it's been a learning experience. I'm learning. Hopefully y'all have learned from my experimenting. And I'm telling you, buy yourself a plastic iron. I've used that now to fix a couple of plastic things, you know. I even fixed a stupid dustpan. I mean, I was playing with it, and it was cracked to hell and back, and I welded the damn dustpan back together again, and it's working for a garage, you know. It works fine. So plastic welding is kind of cool. I mean, it does the job. And you can sand ABS plastic, which is beautiful. That gives you the smoothness. First you weld it in, and of course I use that black slurry. I recycle all of the, as I drop everything, I recycle all the broken or little chips of plastic. You don't really throw hardly any away. With a little acetone, you mix it into a cup and it becomes liquid plastic, you know? The acetone evaporates and the liquid gets hard. So you use that as filler though. I mean, I don't know that I would trust that to bond the plastic together permanently. I think welding is the way to go, because you get down into the, you're joining the entire plastic pieces together. Just to give you a rough idea, let me spin this around so that you can see the back, because then you'll see what I've done as far as welding goes. It looks nasty in the back because I have not spent the time, as I drop this thing, I haven't spent the time that I did in the front. You could if you wanted to, but I didn't. What I did on this is I welded the plastic in, welded all the oval plastic pieces in, filled up the cigarette lighter hole, the cigarette lighter hole in the dash. I welded blanks in the back here and behind the turn signal where I drilled through. I welded it all in, and then I used a plastic slurry and painted that over top with a brush. You can thin the, you can wash your brushes out with acetone. It does a good job. So it's doable. Anybody who wants to build a dash can do so. In fact, the cool thing about this is you can not only build dashboards, but you can build gauge panels, or two din, panels to attach to your dash or anything. I mean, that ABS plastic you can buy in sheets. And what I did for the radio, which you cannot see, is I heated it up. I heated the plastic up, and using 2 pieces of wood, I used paint sticks. After I got it hot, I rolled it. You have to work fast because ABS cools off and gets hard very fast, But hold on for a second. Well, by doing that, I was able to get a rolled out lip here. Then I cut the sides and I put a piece of plastic going in on both sides, and I sanded it smooth, which gave me a nice rounded edge here. It sticks out, and I was able to weld additional plastic all the way around, okay, which gave me the lip for my radio. It's doable. It's how much time you want to put into it, and this took me probably around 5 days, working 2 or 3 hours a day. In the evening I would just come out here and mess with it, welding. And you saw the welding I did over here when I patched this panel. Same thing. Once you weld it in, then you sand it smooth. You sand it as smooth as you can get it, and it gives you a nice finish. And then I used Sims primer. First I used adhesive promoter. I painted the dash with 2 coats of this adhesive promoter, okay? Then within, I think, an hour after this adhesive promoter dried, I hit it with the Sims high build primer surfacer, which is approved for, as you can see, it's for plastics as well. Aluminum and for, you know, fiberglass and plastics. You know, you're limited with the products that you use. Everything has to be designed to go with plastic because it's got to be flexible with this. You don't want it to crack on you later. But when I bring you back, I'll show it to you. I've got the gauges now, and they all fit perfect. They all fit perfect. So once it's painted and the carbon fiber's in, I'll show you the finished product, and I think you'll say, wow, I can do that. You know, I mean, it's not for everybody, but anybody who wants to have a nice dash, you know, for their LS project or for their hot rod, whatever, you know. In the old days, everybody had to use aluminum or, you know, wood and fiberglass to make it. I'm telling you, this is the way to go. Plastic is flexible. It gives you a lot of options, and you know, it's forgiving because, you know, if you screw it up, you just heat it up, remold it, sand it, and eventually it comes back to the way you want it. All right, well, that's what I have for now. The next video you'll see is a completed project. Hopefully you'll see that, right? I'm leaving this textured paint, and I'm going to paint this trim paint on all of the surrounding. I'm debating on whether I'm going to put some aluminum or some of that shiny metal paint there. I did the ball. I redid the ball already with it. It came out pretty nice, but I don't know that I like that or not. It has a couple of boogers in it, but that'll be fine for sitting here. That'll work. But that's where we're at. Building a street rod is a lot of fun, but you got to learn. You got to teach yourself different techniques, and this is one of them. And I hope this helps people. I really do. At least it gives you options. Talk to you later. Bye.